audio file.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be 100% dog shit.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So, yeah, I got 2 shards here, and
nice.
You got one there.
I've got a Chablis, Chablis Chardonnay.
Nice. So I don't know. I guess we'll just I don't know. Maybe this episode. What? So you're gonna do by like grape variety, or I don't know. We'll just fucking figure it out. We'll start at some point and then just figure it out from now on.
Yeah. I mean,
but
we were going with just like fucking Chardonnay for this one, I guess. Was
yeah.
The game.
It's the game.
Yeah. So I have a 2017 Chablis from Plateau de la Cornasse, from Patrick Pews.
Nice. Patrick Pews makes some good stuff.
Patrick Pews. Well, I mean, I got this bottle because you pointed at it. And we're like, that's good. You should get it. And I was like,
it's
nice.
Delicious. Piuze. What we should probably do is like, if we're just gonna do just audio like this, we should take pictures and then like post it online. We should probably set up a website and then post pictures there and be like, oh, these are the ones we had.
That's a good call.
Yeah. So Chablis, Chablis, Chablis. And I have 2 here. Macon Village is like the region in France. It's in Burgundy. And Lafon, Lafon is the producer.
Oh, Dominique Lafon?
I don't know if it's Dominique Lafon. It just says Les Héritiers du Comte Lafon. I don't know if it's. I can Google.
Lafon?
Yeah, Lafon. It's probably Dominique Lafon, right?
Oh, no. I think. Oh, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Domaine de Comte Lafon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dominique Lafon.
Dominique Lafon owns it.
Yeah, okay. Cool, yeah. It's all biodynamic and... Hey, we're not going to talk about Sorath today, but, you know.
Hey, baby.
We'll get to it.
Every conversation is ultimately about Sorath, is it not?
All roads lead to Sorath.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So the other one I have is that was 2018. So
nice.
That's a baby. And then this other one I got is Copain's the producer. Le Voisin, LES, and then VOISINS. So 2016. Anderson Valley Chardonnay, so California, Northern California.
Nice.
So I wanted to get that to do sort of like because we were doing 2 French ones, and I wanted to do the French one and like an American one. And sort of, this is good. It's not like a totally, and we'll get into it, but it's not. I want to go with something that wasn't totally ridiculous, like just tastes like a stick of butter. Just
like the movie theater popcorn. Jism spilled all over you,
dunked into a bottle of vanilla extract. Like I didn't really want covered in like sawdust. Like I didn't want that.
Yeah.
Right away.
The way that they make that's actually like kind of impressive because they it's all about like manipulating diacetyl fermentation really particularly.
Oh, like the buttery shards? Yeah. I think you were telling me about that in
yeah. I mean there's a fucking California Chardonnay that's literally just called butter.
Yeah.
Because fuck you.
Right. Yeah, we gotta do that at some point. Have like, all right, let's do like the super rich decadent California Chardonnay deal. And we can talk about that. But yeah, so now just sort of an intro thing, and I don't know. We want to go through like general Chardonnay information. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't have a book open.
Let's do it. Let's. Right. I have the internet open, which is, if you think about it, just like a big book with really cheap porn.
Really cheap porn. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheap is free. In fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chardonnay is it is the I believe most widely planted white wine grape in the world.
Yeah. I was going to say pretty much anywhere that you can grow wine or wine is being grown, Chardonnay is probably being grown there.
Yeah.
The Copain's good. These are both really good wines. I haven't had that Patrick Pews wine, but I've had other wines and they're really good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's super tight, like very bright, very very like cold melon fleshy type fruit flavors, and then just enough acid to fucking feel like you're living in the 60s.
But yeah, so all right, so when you say tight, does that mean that it's not
like mineral,
like completely aromatic? All right, so what do you mean by mineral? Because that itself is like a huge debate. People argue all the time.
Well, I always think of minerality as being like a very you know how petrichor, like when wet slate has that very particular smell to it.
Yeah.
That's what I tend to associate with minerality in like white wines, is like a slaty, not like a chalkiness. Like that's a different sort of palate experience, but just where the base note in the wine is this very firm place built in acid and flavor profile. Because I don't know, you're right. Minerality is like a completely useless phrase most of the time. But
I mean, we can have another one where we talk about just that.
Yeah, but in terms of like tight, I mean, this is very like, it's restrained. It's not like trying to be overly showy. Like it's not just got a huge bouquet of a bunch of different flavors popping off the nose right away. Like, then it's pretty cold. I've had it in the fridge for a while.
Yeah.
But then, like, on the palate, it's just got a lot of malic acid, like a lot of green apple flavors. And mixed in with, like, lime rind and... but it all feels like it has strict definitions to where those flavors will, like, happen in your mouth. Like, it's very discreet, and it's not just sort of washing out over your whole palate, over like every part of your mouth, and filling that all with flavor. Like it's hitting with acid and with structure everywhere. But that's that's its own thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
So nice. Yeah. There's one other one I have that comes a lot. So Chablis is like super north in Burgundy. Burgundy's this region. It's like eastern France, stretches pretty high up. So Chablis is a region that's like most other regions of Burgundy are all sort of like connected, but Chablis is this isolated region that's actually closer to Champagne, which is like northern France, than it is to the rest of Burgundy. And soils there have a ton of like limestone and seashells and that kind of stuff. So people say that that adds to like the minerality, which, as we've talked about, we don't really know if it's like a fucking thing or not. And people just say it is, and you can smell rock, but it's like, all right, have you smelled a rock before? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But or like, have you licked a rock?
I lick rocks all the time.
Lick rocks. It's my premier hobby.
I have a very weird.
That's like
the
most like
very
autistic
weird set
thing.
Of fetishes.
I play with trains for 3 hours, and I go outside and lick rocks.
People are like, "Hey, go kick rocks." I'm like, "I will not. I will lick rocks." Yeah,
I have far too much respect for rocks.
Yeah,
too much
I am
sensual respect.
I'm gonna go tongue fuck a chunk of granite right now.
Sensual respect. That's another good one. That's
sensual respect. Yeah.
I need to be like, it's an album cover where like I'm not, like my back is to the camera and like my head's just turned and like my hair's
dressed
gelled.
Like Boy George.
Yeah. In the back of
not
my
Boy George,
jacket is
George
sensual
Michael.
Respect.
Yeah. Boy George.
But it's just me, and it's like oddly like foggy, but all the like steam is coming out of like a manhole, you know. But in front of me, between my legs.
Manhole would be another good name.
Damn, that's nice. It's good. Why is that not? Why do people not laugh about that all the time?
I don't know.
Why is it not a woman hole?
Oh yeah. I want to know the history of woman holes. That's, I mean, making shitty sexist jokes, and we're only 8 minutes or 10 minutes in.
Nice.
Yeah, this one's for the boys. Drinking wine for the boys.
Those things are. God, it's depressing. Anyway,
everything's for the boys.
So everything, basically. Yeah. All right. So Macon Village, right?
Yeah. So Macon is one of the bigger villages. It's one of the bigger towns in Burgundy. It is in the in Mâconnais, which is just fucking like. So there's Côte de Nuit. Yeah, I can't say French shit. There's Côte de Nuit and Côte de Beaune, and those are the northern two like
sections
chunks
of the Côte d'Or.
Yeah. The Gold Coast. Or or aspect or whatever the fucking
slope. Yeah, same
term is. Yeah, but then there's so Macron's is a village, but is that where your wine came from?
Yeah. So it's like the AOC is the like sub-region, and in France is like, we'll get into this at some point, we'll talk about terminology and shit, but like AOC is basically like a word for like a geographic area in France.
Yeah,
that's like
not just
like
a
yeah, go for it.
Oh no, I was just not just a fucking member of the House of Representatives.
I thought you were going to say something
slam dunk
way worse than that. Like,
worse.
You were thinking it, but you were like, not episode 1.
No. It's the fact that I do have like the fact that I have a very legitimate crush on her, and just wish that I thought it was possible that by her age I would have accomplished anything.
No. Is it the glasses or what is it?
Completely separate. I think it's just the fact that she's like competent. That's
your
pretty
bar's
hot
really that
to me.
Low. You're like, that's all it takes.
No. That's why I respect her as like a lawmaker more than almost anyone else in the government. I have a crush on her because she's just really hot, and it's.
I got bad news for Ashley because I consider myself pretty competent. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're both competent and hot as is Ashley.
Yeah,
no, man, I just like. Well, yeah. I get what you mean, but there's something about like a C-SPAN video where you're having to watch some fucking crypt keeper looking motherfucker from say Delaware maybe, who you're just kind of like in the back of your head like, oh yeah, they're just a rapist. Like I just know that about this guy. Like he's had too much power for too long.
Right.
He's got to be a rapist, and then all of a sudden like a really attractive young woman from New York is just like giving a much more impassioned speech and speaking much more articulately, and you're like, wow, I have the weirdest boner right now. I don't know what to. I had the about face that was done in the last moment between how much I was expecting from this person.
So Dominique Lafon, right? He's a producer.
I don't know. I just
he makes good wine. So I'm drinking one of his wines right now.
Yeah,
it's
saying you don't want to talk about how much I want to fuck politicians.
I mean, you're not talking.
I'll tell you about how much I want to fuck Dominique Lafon. I don't want to fuck him. No. I know too many people who work for him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
Oh no, because he owns Lingua Franca, where he's like.
He's
the winemaker for it. Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, several good friends of mine do currently work for him, so I shouldn't make jokes about fucking him. But
I mean, what if he's flattered?
Ooh, that'd be cool. I mean,
that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd be flattered if he was flattered.
Throw a couple bottles of tongue in cheek, if you know what I'm saying.
Ooh, yeah.
Have you had that wine?
I have not. I have not. I think I've had Mimi's Mind and Plowshares, or is Plowshares one of their wines?
I don't know. I've had.
I think I've had Mimi's Mind, and I might have had Tongue in Cheek.
I think Tongue in Cheek is my favorite Pinot they make, and then I think Sisters maybe is my favorite Chard. There might be another one, but I don't know.
I've not gotten to try their Chards.
They're unfortunately like Sisters is like $150. Like it's so fucking expensive, and it's like, come on, man. But we've had this discussion yesterday about a different winery. Who still has not emailed me back. Anyway, so this one,
the Plow. I've had the Plow, which is their
the Plow,
like
okay.
the Plow is. Well, that's kind of cool. I guess I hadn't seen those labels yet. The Plow is their like $60 bottle, and it's. I mean, for anyone listening, it's a good bottle of wine. You should go buy it. Like I don't know, it's 60.
It's kind of hard to find.
Yeah, $60 isn't cheap, but it's like I don't know. I appreciate it as a. They have a $40 bottle now, and a $55 bottle. They actually have affordable wines.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so but like the structure of Burgundy, it's like from north to south. It's the Côte d'Or encompasses Côte de Nuit, which is the top, then Côte de Beaune, which is south of that. And then south of that is Côte de Chalonnaise. Then there is Mâconnais, and then below that is Beaujolais.
Yeah, it's interesting. Most people don't consider Beaujolais part of Burgundy, but it technically is.
And the thing about like Burgundy in terms of like it's tiny, like geographically speaking, is such a small area, and the Côte d'Or is most of what people are talking about when they're talking about like Grand Cru and Premier Cru, like hot, like Burgundy with like serious fucking like all of the labels that command insane prices Prestige that I know of. Yeah, for like red Burgundy come out of Côte de Nuit and Côte de Beaune.
There's a couple. There's a couple of producers in Chablis that have really high prices, like Dovissat and Ravenel. And stuff,
yeah,
you're right. Like the large majority of the really like highly sought after and collectible and super fucking expensive producers are all in Côte de Nuit or Côte de Beaune.
Well, and Chablis is a bit of a weird. They're almost like I would almost credit them with being like a, because they're technically it's part of Burgundy, but they're a weird like. They're just weird. It's like it's a weird adjunct to Burgundy because it's like more separate than the rest of it geographically.
Yeah.
Like it's north, I think, of Dijon.
I wonder what the history is of that.
I don't know.
Chablis being incorporated into Burgundy.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of questions I wanted to know when I went to the intro Somm class or whatever. I would ask those, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know." But I don't think it's like because it was beyond their understanding. I think they just like maybe they didn't care, or they learned it at some point and forgot, or something like that. But that's the kind of weird stuff that I'm like interested in. It was like kind of details, but So Mâconnais is, a lot further south than Chablis, so it's going to be warmer. So the flavors in this are a bit more like ripe. So when people say that, it's kind of like if you think about like underripe peach versus a super ripe peach. Underripe is like if you think about texture, but also like a super ripe peach is really floral and rich and like like decadent and generous in terms of like giving up its flavors and stuff. Where it's a underripe peach, you have to really like try to smell it kind of intensely. It's some kind of weird to get the flavors out of it. Yeah. Whereas like a super ripe peach is more generous. So I guess that's in terms of like generous and tight and whatever. Yeah. But this one's like generous and tight. But gotta tone this down a little bit.
Hey.
No, but
I've already just gone on a huge tangent about how I want to make out with AOC. Yeah. Sorry about that.
With her, let's be honest. You don't.
I want to marry her and have children and live a very happy life in a socialist utopia.
Just respect her all the way.
I mean, functionally yes, but for the purposes of this conversation, that's boring. So we can ignore it. Yeah. So your the Mâconnais. Yeah. So we basically have managed to pick wines from more like representing more or less northern and southern expressions of Burgundy in terms of Chardonnay, which is kind of cool. Like we don't really mean to do that, but
no, it works out. And I think like what I was saying with like the warmer climate, like the flavors tend to be more expressive, but also there is that like minerality thing where in this it has like a salinity, so it's almost like when you smell it, it smells like if you ever like open an oyster, like a freshly shucked oyster or whatever, and you smell it, like that sort of like saline mixed with like the shell, the smell of the shell also, like that's in here pretty like strong in me. Yeah, along with like delicate, whatever standard like with like apple and white flower. That's kind of like standard for Chardonnay. People say like, oh, it's apples and white flowers and whatever the fuck that means.
But white flowers. Yeah. I like to call them
the one white flower smell. Yeah, there is.
The flowers of privilege.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
And but yes, I mean, do you want to talk about? Because I have the other, I have the California Chardonnay. So you want to talk a little more about? Like we can keep talking about like old world, so like European Chardonnay.
Yeah, I think something we could cover certainly from. Something we should probably cover about Chardonnay is it comes from Burgundy. That's where the varietal like originated, and it is. Whenever someone says like white Burgundy, they just mean Chardonnay. Like there are technically a couple others. I think Melon de Bourgogne and Pinot Blanc Malone grown in Beaujolais a little bit?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. Pinot Blanc, I know there's some, but
There's
Aligoté.
And Aligoté is
the other. Like Aligoté is like definitely the number 2, and then I think number 3 would probably be if there's like Melon de Bourgogne and.
I think I might be.
Pinot Blanc,
I think I might be totally off on that.
Did you know there's a weird AOC near like a satellite AOC of Chablis? I think it's called like Saint Veran or something, where they only grow like Sauv Blanc.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I started studying for that test, and then I was down in DC, and I forget the name of the wine bar. I think it was like Little Pearl or something. No, I forget. It's like little there's a bunch of different restaurants associated with that. Mm-hmm. But they had a bottle at Saint Veran, and I was like, "Oh shit, I want to try it!" And it was really cool because it tasted like it tasted like Sauv Blanc made in Chablis. Like it was super mineral. It didn't have like that like green bell pepper thing that a lot of like Sauv Blancs have that I don't like. Mm-hmm. It was just like super mineral, and it was like tasted like Chablis, but it was like imagine Chablis, but it's Sauv Blanc. Like that means nothing to a lot of people.
No, but Sauv Blanc, it's a valuable thing because, like, I don't know, Sauv Blanc can get that quality of hedgy, like, green bell pepperiness if it's not, if the canopy is not in balance, like, if it's not hedged properly, basically, you'll just get over-vigorous. Right? Yeah, you just get over-vigorous leaf growth, and then that creates this weird, like... The plant basically makes fruit production secondary at that point, and it's really obvious with Sauvignon Blanc, at least the one place that I've ever worked on farming it. You can just see the plants that are really healthy and producing a lot of leaves, they don't care much about producing fruit. And so the fruit they do produce is like got really weird. It's got this really weird like sort of flavor profile because it just grows kind of in the shade and then is lacking a lot of the like I don't know, like none of the hormone pathways in the plant are basically dedicated to getting carbohydrates and developmental like nutrients and shit to the fruit. Like it's just focused on using the leaves to make the roots healthy. But Sauvignon Blanc's a tricky grape to grow. Like it's this weird grape where you can either just fucking mass produce it like they do in Marlborough, or you can really craft it, and those are the extremes. Everything in the middle gets kind of weird and like trying to hedge your bets. And
I heard it's also it can be difficult to make and control the reduction. And you know when you make it sometimes.
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, reduction, another interesting topic we'll talk about at a later point. But also Chardonnay is a really important grape in Champagne.
Yeah.
Champagne's a region, you know.
Just north of Burgundy.
Yep. And delicious sparkling wines and some still wines they make there. Mm-hmm. So Chardonnay is a big component in there, and you know, Champagne made specifically from white grapes doesn't have to just be Chardonnay. I think you can make it because there's like 7 different grapes permitted in Champagne. Yeah. So I think technically, if you made a sparkling wine in Champagne made completely from Pinot Blanc, you could still call it Blanc de Blanc. I think you could.
You can.
But nobody does that. I mean, I'm sure there might be one guy or girl or woman or man who does that, but I don't know of them. Yeah, and it seems like it'd be a waste. Honestly, it'd be hard to sell.
Yeah, well, it'd just be. I mean, all of these places that we're talking about in the old world, it's more like what is already there and who owns it and what are your agreements with the people who own it, because you can't like. It's all so locked down that there is wiggle room, but it's so narrow at this point what can like be what can be accomplished except by just being someone like Dominique Lafon, where your winemaking like talent, whatever that amounts to, you know, in real terms,
Right.
Like your skill as a winemaker is the main way that you can like change what's going on in Burgundy to some degree. Mm-hmm. But like the plots of land are what they are. The whole area is like planted out. Like pictures of it are hilarious because it's just like vines on vines on vines. Like every piece of the hillside that could possibly support a vineyard is supporting a vineyard. So
yeah,
you know, the varietals in Champagne are Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier, Chardonnay, and then Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Arbonne, and Petit Meslier. But you would have to use like, I think it would have to be Pinot. I think there are like a couple producers. We talked about this on the we drank that bottle of champagne. Yeah, the 0th episode. Like there are a couple people doing it, but they're not big. Like they're just yeah. And that's the problem with all of this too. Is like so many of these producers like they're either these vineyards are going into big products like Louis Jadot, or they're incredibly minute, and we just wouldn't hear of them. Yeah.
But I mean, luckily there are a lot of really good importers who strive to specifically go for those people.
Yeah.
Like Rosenthal has a lot of those. Current Lynch has a lot of those. Where they pick out these like tiny producers, where you're like, holy shit, how did you find these? And I imagine they just literally just go like
go to the person's
door to door
house.
Through Burgundy. And just like, oh, all right, let me try this. All right, we want your wine, we don't want your wine, whatever. But so on yours, okay, so one interesting thing is on the Macon Village that I'm tasting now and smelling, there is, as the wine like opens up a bit more, meaning just like you let it just like essentially aerates more. Certain like flavors or characteristics will come out more, and on some bottles of white Burgundy, I find that a lot of the times the oak doesn't come out until it's sat for a little while. It's aerated a little while. So obviously some bottles it varies, but on a lot of this, like I've had this wine a couple times, and every time I have this wine or other wines from this particular region that do use like a conservative amount of oak, it always comes out a little bit afterwards, and it doesn't come out like super like overt. It'll come out like it'll smell like you just kind of like you just sharpened a pencil and like blew it off, and then you kind of smelled it. Where it's not like, it doesn't say it smells like shavings, but it has a little bit of that like graphite, like flinty thing to it, and then also has the would
you maybe call it mineralité?
I'd like to say this as much as I can, but the wine is made biodynamique.
Biodynamics.
Biodynamics, my guy. But so Chablis. One of the reasons I really like Chablis is that it's a great like super crisp like zippy wine, because they don't really start using oak until you get to the generalization, of course, but until you get to like the Grand Cru wines, they don't really start putting oak on there. So if you get a bottle that just says Chablis on it, or Premier Cru Premier Cru Chablis, or Petit Chablis, they're all going to be, generalized, obviously, no oak. And so I would imagine that's what you're experiencing.
Yeah, there's a weird tannic backbone to this that like certainly could be the product of like I mean,
to skin contact after pressing or something.
Possibly. I think.
Well, that's gonna be after pressing, but they like put it in like a cold room or something after they picked it before they pressed it.
No, I think more likely it's just the effect of the fact that this was almost certainly fermented in oak.
Oh, okay. Like that makes sense. Yeah.
Because like I don't know, you just get this richness from it that's like the tannins of stuff that are fermented in oak to me tend to be pretty different than the tannins of stuff that is fermented in stainless steel, but I'm always getting psyched out by that and like I'm wrong. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not picking up huge oak on this. I'm just picking up that like that astringent sort of skin tannin quality of like very, very acid driven, like relatively early picked Chardonnay.
Right. Which I can sort of to people who have no idea what that means. That just to me at least you can either be like, no, you're totally wrong, or like that's not how I relate, or whatever. But I mean, to me, that sort of texture I associate with like this like pear skin kind of. Like
you mean that graininess, like that?
Yeah,
that texture,
kind of, or like that's sort of like the mouth coating graininess when you eat a pear that's not totally juicy and ripe.
Yeah,
that little like that. I mean, that's sort of an exaggeration of it, but it's like when you like teach people what are tannins, and then they like suck on a black tea bag. It's been, you know, like holy shit, that's disgusting, and you're like, all right, so that's tannins. I feel like that would be the same kind of thing where like, or if you chew on like get
cranberry juice is a great
cranberry juice too. Yeah.
Cranberry's very tannic. But yeah, tannins are it's just the taste of wood fibers basically. It's like it's the taste of cellulose. You know, in whatever context it exists and what fruit you're dealing with. Which is that's not right. Like that's not accurate, but that's like basically what you tend to like experience is like it's like that's the image in my head of just like the striations of cellulose, and it's very much to do with the non-liquid structures of a plant that you then get juice out of, you know, mixing into it. But this is like it says on the bottle it's 12% alcohol, so I'm like I believe that.
This is 12.5.
Yeah. But for this, I'm assuming that means they picked this at it's 12 times.
You can do it.
Or 12 divided by 0.6 approximately. So yeah, they probably picked this at or below 20 bricks. Like bricks are a measure of sugar content in like unfermented grape juice that you're going to make wine out of. Like bricks are one way of talking about how much sugar there is in that, and bricks are inaccurate to the extent that they are really just measuring suspended solids, and degrees bricks like it's this whole thing about like how it's supposed to correlate with like a percentage of mass type thing. If you like, again, for the listener, if you are interested, looking up bricks or like specific gravity, those are the two main measurement metrics. Metrics used.
Metrics,
used in America at least, and basically it's just a style thing. Like you could just like if somebody tells you that they're using specific gravity, you're just like, oh, okay. If they tell you they're using bricks, you're like, okay. And then you're like, why am I talking to you about this? And they're like, oh, I thought you cared.
I was looking up when you said thing about cellulose. I was like, well, celery doesn't taste tannic to me. And then I was like, where does the name celery come from? Does it come from like cellulose or whatever?
Yeah.
And you want to know what the name for the Hindi name of celery? The seeds is ajwain, so AJWAIN. I'm like, it's a little too close.
Oh.
It's a little too close. So in a past life, maybe I was, I cultivated celery in India. Just putting it out there.
Tom, I gotta say, when I met you, the first thing through my head was, this guy, he's gonna make an off-color joke about Teletubbies, and he is going to, at some point reveal to me that in a past incarnation of himself, he brought celery to India.
I did. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are welcome.
But
so tannins' relationship with white wine is interesting because tannins have like tannins are persnickety. Like they're a huge
persnickety.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, can I just interrupt? We could talk about tannins, like you and me, and we have for like 4 hours.
Let's do this.
I say we hold off on that because that then we can talk about phenolic bitterness, and we can talk about like all the different sort of stuff. That can be its own 3-episode series or some shit.
I think you make a very good point there.
Do you want to pivot over to this California Chardonnay that I have here?
Let's talk about
start talking about New World Chardonnay in general. So Copain is a good producer there in the Anderson Valley, Northern California. So it's gonna be a little cooler than down in like Napa or regions that are further south. I've had their Pinots before. I haven't had their Chards before, and I like their Pinots. It wasn't and maybe we could do Pinot next or something, like next episode.
Yeah,
but I've had their Pinot. I liked it, and so I had their Chard now, and it's like.
Sorry, can you give me the name of them again?
Oh, Copain, Copain.
Copain wine.
And then, they're good.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right off the bat. No, I'll tell you the alcohol content of this afterwards. But right away, I mean, for me, like the dominant smell in this is like some reduction, and then like oak.
Right.
But not like super vanilla, but there's also but there is a nice like fresh fruit like core of this. So I'd say like I think like if you're talking about like an image, right? So you have like fruit is like you start with fruit is the background for this whole thing, and then you put like I don't know 1/4 of it is like reduction, and then maybe like 1/3 of it is oak, so you can still see like the fruit through it because it's not just all oak. It doesn't smell like barrel,
So which one did you say it was? Which Copain?
Les Voisins.
Ah yes, Les Voisins. Trying to trick you into thinking it's French. Nice.
And it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's got good acid. A lot of Yeah, it's delicious. It's delicious. There's a lot of wines that you can tell the acidity is like pure. It's not, they didn't acidify or anything, which is again something we can talk about later. You could just tell they wanted to go for this style. They wanted to go for let's make a good California like distinct Chardonnay, and like the taste of the barrel in it. You can tell that it was intentional. And it's there. It's not overwhelming, but it's definitely like assertive,
So in terms of scale of reduction, would you put it like less reduction than say, like Walter Scott's Chardonnay?
Oh yeah, less than that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Walter Scott's are pretty like okay. So let's say all the way from all the way on the left side is like Marcus's our Goodfellow Chardonnay. And then all the way on the right side is like Evening Land Chardonnay.
Okay.
This is like right in the middle.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a good balance.
Yeah.
Do you like Evening Land's Chardonnay? Do you like the super reductive style? Not all right. So not do you like Evening Land's Chardonnay, but do you like that super reductive style of Chardonnay?
Well, I haven't specifically had Evening Lands, I think. No, I have. I tell a lie.
Liar.
Yeah.
Liar.
Well, I haven't had theirs in a while, and it was...
Liar.
Yeah, man, I know. I'm the worst. I'm the fucking worst.
You're the fucking worst.
Yeah, man.
Guilt creeping through.
Dude. Maybe at some point we should do a bit of like backstory for the dear listener and... point out to them that we are...
Nope.
We are, in case they hadn't guessed, both very white and both...
Yes.
Both healthfully privileged.
Yes.
We're doing a podcast about wine.
Yeah. All right, wait. So while the flavors are still in my mouth, people who don't know and are like just getting into wine, like, oh, like what does any of this shit mean? What does oak taste like? Whatever. For me, I mean, it's a lot of different... Like every like barrel tastes and smells different, and then the effect that it has on every grape is different. So like effectively every wine is going to be different in terms of how it like expresses oak.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you'll get like so there's French and American oak mainly. Yeah. We're just going to deal with those two. for now.
Let me tell you some stories about Hungarian oak.
Let me tell you some stories. Hungarian oak, Slavonian. Don't even get me started on those. But yeah, French to me is like just like essentially vanilla, anywhere from vanilla bean to vanilla extract, that sort of flavor, and then like toasty like marshmallow. So to me, people talk about like toast on barrel, and it's like when they make the barrel, they like char the like inside of it to a certain degree because they don't want to leave any of like the raw like so essentially like uncooked like oak in there, because it'll impart these really undesirable flavors. Super tannic and all that kind of stuff. So the degree to which you char the barrel on the inside has a great impact on the flavor. So like whiskey barrels typically have a really heavy char. That's why it tastes like smoky. Or
they can actually be measured by like how deeply into the chars you can like stick a measuring device.
Yeah.
Because the wood cracks and
Yeah. But the smokiness from Scotch is not associated with brown. It's totally different. So.
Well, no, But with wine, that is not how much the barrels get toasted. Like the grain of the wood is still very visible on the inside of the barrel. It's just been sort of singed to a deeper brown color. I mean, some toasts are very light. They range all the way to like But with wine barrels, it's very consistently like a change in color, not a change in like the surface of the wood by burning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the degree to which a barrel is toasted has an overall effect on the flavor of the wine.
Yep.
And so that I sort of equate that with like how toast, like a piece of toast is, like how done it is.
Yep.
Or how like if you're like toasting a marshmallow, like to me this is like, it's not really feel like singe, but it's like this is a pretty like deeply toasted marshmallow, which is like perfect for me.
Yep.
So like it's super delicious. So to me, having that like it's nice to have that like really roasty kind of flavor, and then like along with it, sort of I can't think of the particular word I'm thinking of, but it's sort of countered and matched with this really fresh, crisp, like acid and fruit and apple and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of has like a really overall delicious balance to me, where it has both to it.
Yeah.
And people tend to be like, they'll bash one style of Chardonnay versus another, and it's not like there's no like right or wrong choice. Like I love just like super sharp Chablis, but then I love like really well done oaky Chardonnays. Like I don't know, a lot of white Burgundies are super oaky and really rich, like Corton Charlemagne or some Merceaus are like that,
Yeah,
and
they tend to be able to like kind of carry that alongside really driving acid, which is one of the things that sometimes falls out. I think it's one of the main reasons that people like can kind of rag on California Chardonnays for being overly oaky, and it's kind of a consistent problem with basically Burgundian varietals in California, and it's I think there are a lot of Californian producers who don't deserve this reputation. It's basically an antiquated reputation at this point. Certainly, just by virtue of it being more than like 15 years old. But generally, with Burgundian varietals, the presiding wisdom for a long time is that California just didn't have enough acid in any of those wines.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And I certainly think at this point there are plenty of people in California growing like really, really nice, like well balanced Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays, like both.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of places that have always been making really nice Chardonnay. Like I've never gotten the chance to try it, but everyone I know who's actually had Chateau Montelena's Chardonnay is like, it's always been acid driven, light, not overly oaky, buttery. Right. Like it's not
super delicious.
Yeah. But then there are big production houses down in California where like the whole tank is designed to, like, it's computerized to the point that they can keep really, really close track of exactly what's going on inside it, temperature-wise, and basically microbially. Like you can look at the effects to basically know what's going on with the cause at certain moments in the wine's lifetime, and that's what we were saying, or what I was mentioning about diacetyl is like to get that butteriness, you just wait for the diacetyl to have gone through and start, like to have metabolized to a certain point, and then you just stop the fermentation with, with like a temperature control sort of maneuver or whatever else, like sulfur would work, I suppose, but you probably want to avoid that. But then you just arrest that fermentation process, and you're left with a bunch of diacetyl just sitting in the wine.
Yeah.
Which is all actually like an extension of the malolactic fermentation process, which we will cover at some point when we talk to people. We will talk about that.
This is delicious. You'd really like this. You should get a bottle. I don't know if you can find it out there, but
what's the Lafon Merceau?
Copain.
Oh, Copain. I mean, the Copain. You can probably find the Copain. So is it the
it's the single vineyard, but the Lafon is the Macon Village.
Macon Village.
Yeah.
Lafon.
It's. I mean, they're both fantastic, but I mean, if you like, like another, I think Stumular is a producer in
Stumular.
Russian River Valley.
Yeah.
Stumular. It's like Stuhl.
Oh, you told me to get this wine before. This is the one that you like. This is that like $30 bottle of the Macon Village.
Macon Village, yeah.
You've told me about this wine a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's so good.
It's the one with the crown on the label. It's like yellow.
Yeah. It's like the perfect. It's like 100% my favorite. Like, like it's hot out. I want to drink this outside. Like, whatever. There's a pool over at the beach, or like I don't know. We're just hanging out outside. It's just, it's the best. It's delicious. But then, so I remember it was like July 4th when I was still working at that wine shop. Mm-hmm. And my sister one of my sisters was back home, and she likes sort of like a richer Chard style. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, I'll pick up a bottle of this Stumular Chard for you. And so we had it, we drank it at the beach, and it was so good.
You were telling me that story.
Yeah, the Russian River Valley Chard. And it's similar to this, where it was a little more like decadent than this, in terms of it was a little like it still had good acid, but it was a little less like this is like super sharp. Yeah, that was a little less sharp and a little more rich. So it was like lemon curd, creme brulee, like just like oh man, like like it's not that I wouldn't like if I wanted to pair that with food, it would be like have to be a super rich, creamy dish.
Yeah.
Like really rich, and or also I like that just on its own.
Yeah. Well, you could do that with like if you did that with like a cream sauce halibut sort of dish.
Yeah. Or like a pasta dish, whatever. Just before it did, like this worked really well. Like some creamy sort of Chardonnay did like a pasta, just like garlic, ricotta, spinach. What the fuck else was in that? Lemon zest, and I don't know, there's something else I forget.
Yeah,
but, like that rich with the lemon zest in there to lighten it up a bit. And some herbs. But, but I mean, the style's it's totally delicious, and it was something that she liked, and I was like, I mean, I hadn't had it before. It's not like I had a prejudice, but it was like I had all these other things that I wanted to try, like all these other Burgundy or these other like I don't know, French or Italian or Spanish wines, and I had kind of been pushing California wines to the side a little bit because I had this a bit of like, I don't know, this bias in me. Because I was like, California wines are kind of like, it's hot and fruit's going to be super ripe. I'm not going to like it that much. And I had it. I was like, oh, fuck, this is really good. This is just delicious.
Nice.
So, yeah. I don't know, man. It's
sorry, I just
nah, you're good.
I
mean, I think one of the things I like about Chardonnay a lot is that it's whatever style you like, there's something for everybody. And I remember like there was that it's like so one thing that I did one of my friends, Liam, I was telling you about, he worked at the wine shop with me, and he was like, oh, you want to get into wine? He's like, he was kind of like indifferent to it. I was like, all right, how about this? How about you get a bottle of Chablis and you get a bottle of, and I give him like the oakiest, richest, like butteriest wine. I was like, all right, just let me see what you think. These are the same grapes, and they're just like made in different places. And he came back and was like, holy shit, like it's the same thing? I'm like, yep, same thing, made different ways, 2 different places. And so that really like clicked for him. And that was the first thing that I really did. I was working with this one book, this like Berry Brothers and Red book. And that was like the first thing that really, one of the first things that got me into wine, and it was cool. And so another thing, working at that shop, you're right. You're talking about that like inherent bias that's like whatever 15 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
Working in there, and she
it's older than that, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it started to change around 15. I don't know. I'm totally talking out of my ass here. But but this woman came in and she was like, no, and she was kind of embarrassed to be like, I'm just looking for a Chardonnay, and I was like, all right, yeah, like, what do you want, California, you want French, like, what are you thinking, budget wise, whatever. She was like, do you like Chardonnay? I was like, yeah, I fucking love Chardonnay. She was like, what? But like, you're a man. And I was like, what does that fucking mean? It's like, but there is that bias that it's like, you know,
that's why we need to go
like,
with the other name
Chardonnay
of the podcast,
is like, yeah. But it's like, Chardonnay is for women, and it's this really oaky, buttery bullshit. It's like, no, that's not. That's
well,
not
that fucking sexism is buried all the way down into fucking white versus red wine. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Which, you know, is redounds to the fact that Chardonnay is it is, for all intents and purposes, Chardonnay is the white wine. Like, in the way that people in the way that people say like white Burgundy and they mean Chardonnay. When people say white wine, they kind of mean Chardonnay.
Right.
That I don't think that's as true with red wine. Like, I think red wine is much more diversified in what people might mean when they say it.
Yeah. I'd say, I mean, if I had to guess, I'd probably say like Cab. Maybe?
Yeah, probably Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cab, probably.
Yeah.
But,
and the funny thing is, in terms of like what people like about red wine, usually I would, you know, and this is I'm stealing this from a comment that a friend of mine made once, but like, when people talk about liking red wine and they're like wine nerds, usually they end up describing something a lot like Syrah, either Cabernet Sauvignon or Syrah. Well, yeah, people just talk about like like big fruity, you know, complex, but you know, with some spice to it, and you just end up you would like Syrah if you like looked into it enough to know where to like get it.
That's true.
From like which Syrahs you're talking about.
I was gonna say. Oh no, sorry, go ahead.
That's just sort of an out my ass comment, but like, I don't think it's fair to say that people are talking about Pinot Noir when they say like red wine. But Chardonnay is really important. Is in the wine world, which like has all of these different like meanings. Like, there's all kinds of things that are implied by that, but it's I don't know. I like Chardonnay a lot. That's
an interesting point, though. When you're saying about like what when people say white wine or red wine, what do they consider? And I think that'd be a really, really interesting conversation in general.
Oh yeah.
We should have it another point. I'm gonna write that down because when I took that like intro som class, whatever, he was like, we did a bunch of blind tastings, and he was like, and nobody was like, I don't know what this is, and he was like, it's Malbec. Like, that's just Malbec. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like red wine.
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah.
So that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah. But that's that's delicious. That's so true about Malbec. Is like, it's just, you know, it's red wine. Jesus.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a good one, because I really want to actually. Oh shit! That place right around here that I went to today when I got that Anthill Pinot that we'll do tomorrow or the day after next or whatever.
Yeah.
They had Zorzal. You know what that is?
No.
Ooh, all right. I'll tell you about it later.
Cool.
But yeah. So
anyway, there are a couple just for my own sake, because I want to. This is halfway nerding out and halfway me vindicating myself for a comment I made earlier. Melon de Bourgogne was it originated in Burgundy.
Yeah,
it was grown there and then was destroyed in the early 18th century by decree.
So it reminds me of my dad the other day. I was helping him. I was working in the greenhouse, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, whatever. I was like raking out a bunch of stuff and like cleaning off stuff to make room for trays for seating and stuff. And they were just like a computer, like a tower, you know? So basically like the computer rather than like the monitor or whatever. And he was like, yeah, so if I wanted to destroy this, how would I go about it? I'm like, like, I've never seriously heard somebody say, yeah, if I was going to destroy this. Like, that's like, you only hear like a supervillain talk about destroying, I don't know, the earth or something.
Yeah.
You know? I laughed. I was like, "What are you talking about? Destroy?" And it turns out he just wanted to like delete the contents of the computer. And I was like,
"Oh, right, yeah."
You just plug it in and just like I can delete all the stuff. There's literally like a very easy way to do that. And he's like, "Yeah, Dad, I want to plug it in and do the whole thing. Can I just like run water through the computer?" I was like, "Fucking sure."
Yeah,
like,
that'll
whatever.
destroy it.
I was like. And he said, "What if I just smash him? Like, if you like hit it with a hammer, it's not going to delete everything in there. But like, if you take it apart and smash each individual component, sure. But like, let me just bring it inside and just take me like 10 minutes."
Nah. You gotta build your dad a just big ass electromagnet.
Yeah. Boom. If I wanted to destroy this,
It's like your dad
hypothetical here.
Your dad coming in with a new laptop he's bought, and he's just like, "So I was doing some reading, and it was like, I just wanted to know if I could count on your help to destroy this varietal of grape that's growing in this entire region. Do you think I could just run water through the whole area, or like smash it with a hammer? What are we doing?"
It was so funny.
That's awesome.
Like, destroy is so dramatic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, yeah. The most recent time I think I've heard somebody describe something being destroyed or destroying something, they were talking about their latest hangover.
I was destroyed. Or somebody like really being into politics and describing their candidate as like destroying somebody in a debate.
Oh, well, I mean, it's part of the caption of every fucking Ben what's his name? Ben Shapiro video where he destroys some bleeding heart liberal college student with purple hair who doesn't understand the meaning of a hard day's work.
Ben Shapiro destroys socialist cuck.
Yeah.
Like, nice. I'm clicking on that in 0.01 seconds. That's me.
I'm a socialist.
I'm
a socialist cuck, and he has not done anything to me yet. He's afraid. He's afraid that I'm the last socialist cuck that he won't be able to destroy.
Probably.
Yeah.
To be honest.
He's afraid of losing an argument to a man shorter than him.
Is he short?
He's very short. He's like my height. He's a tiny man.
He's a modestly sized man. I would like that. Be like, girls describe you short and be like, "I'm not short. I'm modestly heighted.
I'm modest.
I'm modestly sized."
I looked at the options for height and went with a modest option.
Respectable, modest option. Yes.
I didn't want to intimidate anyone by being impressively short.
Yeah. No, of course not.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know somebody could be that short. You're like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I could be. It's me.
I could do it.
I
got nothing but chromosomes and bad sleep habits to work with, baby.
Nice.
Yeah. So, another thing that I just discovered for myself on the subject of wine was that Auxerrois also probably originated in the town of Auxerre near Burgundy. Not really grown there much at all anymore, but probably has the same basic parentage as Chardonnay, which is it's probably a cross between Gouais Blanc and Pinot Noir. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's the kind of thing that I've had, but like someone blinded me on and was like, "What do you think this is?" And I was like, "Chardonnay." And they're like, "Haha, no, it's Auxerrois." Yeah. I was like, "All right, cool. Like, thank you for really helping my education."
Yeah. Way to go. Oh, dude.
Progress.
I have that Gruner that you bought, to show me the Federspiel.
Oh yeah.
I was at my buddy Brandon's house, and if he listens to this will blow my cover. He was blinding us on a couple wines, and he blinded us on that, and I I saw that he blinded us by putting it in the bag from Valley Wine Merchants. And then I saw just like the capsule. And I was like, I think that's what that looked like. And I know that they have it at Valley Wine Merchants, but this also definitely tastes like that Gruner. Mm-hmm. This is like, I'm pretty sure based just on the taste. So he was just like, yeah, what do you guys think this is? And we were going around like giving like, you know, what varietal we thought it was. And I was just like, yeah, I think it's Gruner. And he's like, yep. And I was like, I bet it's that bottle that fucking Tom showed me. And he pulled it out of the bag and I was just like, fuck. Nailed it.
Nailed it, bitch.
Yeah. It was like it was one of those awkward moments where like Brandon, Ben, and Nolan were like, wow, nice job calling that one. And I was like, thanks. I'm just gonna walk away with that win right there. Yeah, I'm gonna be like that guy who really fucking knows Gruner.
I know it. It's in me. Have you ever like been doing a blind tasting or whatever, and then somebody like pours it for you, and they, like for some reason they'll like give you a hint or like based on their reaction, like you can just figure it out what it is based on them rather than what's actually in the glass. But then you have to like pretend like you don't know what it is. Yeah, I've done that like so many times, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like I don't want to let them down. It's like this weird like game theory like layout that's going on in my head. It's
this very bizarre like layering of the narrative where you're like, is it could it be polite and fun and cool for me to be like, no, I used this tick that you say when you're trying to apply this angle of skullduggery that I was
hacked into your brain.
Yeah.
All ones and zeros with just straight green text hacking.
Look, man. Me. I don't want to say I juiced your mainframe to rewrite the primary code, but
I did destroy. I destroyed it.
But I also saw the capsule with the wine.
But I also flooded this monitor with water.
I destroyed this fucking personal computer. No, I did that exact thing you're talking about at a group tasting. Like there's this tasting group that hasn't met for a while and probably won't now that we're in the midst of the coronavirus. But we got together and we were doing a tasting, and there was this one wine that came up, and it was from Italy, and we tasted it, and I was like, I feel like it tastes kind of like, I don't know, like it could be an Alsatian varietal. And then the person who poured it was like, yeah, we've had one other wine of this varietal in one of these tastings.
Oh, and that's yeah.
Which, like, admittedly, we've done so many different varietals that have only come up one time. I was like, all right, well, like, but it's a white wine, and then just like kind of just lobbed, yeah, is it Sylvaner? And it turned to me like, yeah. I was like, yep. Couldn't have told you that just based on tasting it or smelling it, but when you give me a clue like that, like, I don't know.
I did buy a bottle of Sylvaner today, and I thought about that one. That
the Domaine Weinbach.
Oh yeah. Oh, that shit was delicious.
Super good. Super good. Yeah.
But yeah. So I went back to the Macon Village. And the absence of like prominent oak on there makes the fruit just like leap out.
Nice.
And it's super. I mean, they're both delicious. It's like, it's not like, I hate when people are like, oh, which one is better? It's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything. It's liquid.
No, with Chardonnay, that's completely dependent on like what do you prefer? What do you want to get out of this?
Or not even like like what do you prefer in the particular moment?
Yeah.
You know?
Like what are you eating?
I want something like super lean and crisp, and I'm in the mood for something like like laser beam sharp.
Yeah. How many days have you been at home without contact, like in person with anyone? Because
How many days have you been self-quarantined?
Yeah. How many days have you just been watching videos of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez on the floor of the house defending your civil liberties, just being like, God damn it, I don't know what to do with these feelings.
I'm imagining she just had one button undone, just one more.
I'm just imagining
with
her,
your eyes,
like
just doing it.
Just her Professor actually X being interested in, like her bumping into me some I don't know what setting, but for me to be able to be like, yeah, actually that's it's an old world Chardonnay from Chablis, and her being like, oh, tell me more, and me being like, oh my god.
You're like, actually, have you ever read Understanding Power?
She just looks at you up and down like, yeah, I have. And I gotta say, you don't have that like soft-spoken 65-year-old vibe going on of a peak prowess Chomsky, but
God, I'll settle tonight.
I think that is
curtain closes.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something I don't want to go too far into about my own psychology, that having Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying, "You're no Chomsky, but I'm in a mood to settle tonight." To me, it's just like,
That's yeah.
We don't need a sign off thing.
No, I would prefer we didn't do that, because that just fucking